Good morning, and welcome to your AI Daily Press Morning Podcast for July 15th, 2025. We have several key stories to cover today. Firstly, in international news, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a significant shift in his administration's policy towards Ukraine, offering to sell arms to the war-torn country and threatening sanctions against Russia if it fails to agree to a ceasefire. This move marks a tonal U-turn for the president and has been welcomed by Ukrainian leaders. In other news, anti-migrant unrest has erupted in southeastern Spain, resulting in 9 arrests. We will continue to provide updates on this developing story as more information becomes available. Meanwhile, Nigerian officials have confirmed that former President Muhammadu Buhari passed away on Sunday at the age of 80 in a London clinic. Tributes are pouring in from world leaders and Nigerians alike, and his legacy is being remembered as complex, marked by both accomplishments and controversies. As Nigeria prepares to bid farewell to its former leader, the nation is also grappling with the challenges left behind by Buhari's administration, including double-digit inflation, foreign exchange shortages, economic hardship, and insecurity. President Bola Tinubu faces an uphill task in addressing these issues. We will provide in-depth analysis and commentary on Buhari's presidency, his impact on Nigeria, and the implications of his passing for the country's future in the coming days. For now, our thoughts are with the people of Nigeria as they mourn the loss of their former leader. That's all for now. Thank you for tuning in to your AI Daily Press Morning Podcast. We'll be back with more news after this break. And that's a wrap. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, in Sudan, reports are emerging of a brutal attack by paramilitary forces on several villages in North Kordofan state, resulting in nearly 100 deaths, including pregnant women and children. The Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, have been accused of war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide. We urge all parties involved to respect international humanitarian law and protect civilians. In the United States, President Trump's tax and spending bill has been signed into law, slashing Medicaid funding by billions of dollars. This move is expected to have far-reaching consequences for patients, providers, and communities across the country, with hospitals and community health centers bracing for reduced reimbursement rates and potential service cuts. Lastly, in Syria, Israel's intervention has sparked debate about whether it's a necessary evil or a recipe for disaster. As the conflict continues to escalate, we'll be monitoring the situation closely and providing updates on the humanitarian crisis unfolding in the region. These stories highlight the urgent need for international cooperation, respect for human rights, and adequate funding for healthcare and humanitarian responses. We'll continue to bring you in-depth analysis and updates on these critical issues throughout the day. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Morning Podcast. Now, for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. I'm your host, Louis. Today, we're summarizing the top stories from our recent articles. Firstly, the U.S. has threatened to impose new tariffs on the EU and Mexico, escalating trade tensions between the countries. This move has been met with concern from business leaders and economists, who warn that it could lead to a trade war and have far-reaching consequences for the global economy. In other news, Vanguard has made a significant investment in cryptocurrency, despite the market's recent volatility. This move suggests that the company believes in the long-term potential of cryptocurrency and is willing to take on the associated risks. We're also seeing shifts in consumer behavior, particularly among Gen Z users of dating apps. A recent survey found that half of Tinder's monthly active users are Gen Z, but they're reporting more discomfort with using AI-powered tools. In response, dating app companies are experimenting with new products and features to make their platforms more appealing to this demographic. Finally, our analysts have been sounding the alarm on certain stocks, warning investors not to get too comfortable with recent performance. We're seeing significant downside risk for investors who fail to keep a level head and do their research. As I always say, don't invest based on emotions. Invest based on evidence. That's all for today's summary. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and always keep your wits about you in these ever-changing markets. And remember, don't panic, stay smart, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, in a groundbreaking discovery, researchers have made a prediction that could further bolster the reliability of the lambda cold dark matter theory. They've identified the presence of faint halos of dark matter, potentially hosting orphaned satellite galaxies, also referred to as ghost galaxies. This finding has profound implications for our understanding of galaxy formation and the mysterious nature of dark matter and dark energy. Secondly, we're taking you on a journey to the Milky Way, where dozens of companion satellite galaxies are believed to exist. However, according to the standard model of large-scale cosmology, there should be many more of these faint galaxies orbiting around the Milky Way at close distances. With the advent of new powerful telescopes, astronomers may soon be able to detect these elusive ghost galaxies. Lastly, in a shocking expose, experts reveal that regulatory intervention in the U.S. economy far surpasses what is captured by traditional notice and comment rulemaking. The Drake equation, a newly proposed framework, aims to shed light on the vast array of regulatory equivalents that stifle innovation and entrepreneurship. But this has sparked a vital conversation about the role of regulation in shaping the U.S. economy, with proponents of deregulation calling for a more balanced approach and advocates arguing that regulations are essential for protecting public health, safety, and the environment. That's all for today's summary. Tune into our podcast for in-depth discussions and analysis of these stories, and join the conversation on social media using the hashtag #AIDailyPress. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. First up, we have the news about flag football making its primetime Olympic debut in Los Angeles at the 2028 Olympics. This historic moment is a testament to the growing popularity of the sport and will feature men's and women's medal games in primetime slots on July 21 and 22. Next, we took a closer look at the Seattle Seahawks' upcoming season, specifically their rookie quarterback, Jalen Milroe. With head coach Mike McDonald affirming that Sam Darnold is the starter, many are wondering what role Milroe will play this year. We also examined the Seahawks' all-time record against their former division rivals in the AFC West, where Denver leads 23-17, Kansas City leads 19-18, and the Las Vegas Raiders have a commanding lead of 26-14. Lastly, we touched on the release of the Los Angeles Olympics schedule, which features a record 32 medal events over a 2-week period. The games will kick off with preliminary action on July 19 and include exciting events like Super Saturday, which takes place on July 22nd, featuring 12 gold and bronze medal team sport matches. That's all for this morning's edition of the AI Daily Press. I'm Howard Closewell, speaking to you from the world of sports. Stay informed, stay objective, and always keep a critical eye on the world of sports. Tell it like it is. Now, for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curel.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we explored the world of music with Noah Kahan's new album, Stick Season, which offers a poignant reflection on life, love, and vulnerability. We also delved into the culinary scene with Muse's Wine Bar in Fitzroy North, where owner Gianni Malandratos is sharing the rich flavors and hospitality of Greece with his community. However, our attention was also drawn to a more troubling tale from small-town America, known as Antipasto Gate. A woman named Nicole's experience at a party sparked a viral debate about kindness, inclusivity, and the consequences of social media engagement. As we navigate this complex digital landscape, it's essential to prioritize empathy, understanding, and respect for differing perspectives. These stories remind us that human connection is at the heart of our experiences, whether it's through music, food, or community. As we move forward, let's strive to create a culture that promotes kindness, empathy, and respect, both online and offline. That's all for today's summary. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you tomorrow on the AI Daily Press Morning Podcast. Now, for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I'm your host, Joan. Let's dive right into the latest news. We've got a thrilling week ahead in entertainment. From the raw charts to K-pop, new talent is emerging and shaking things up. Lord's latest album, Virgin, has debuted inside the top 10 on every Billboard chart it's appeared on, with all 12 tracks landing on the Hot Rock Alternative Songs chart. In other news, Hyunjin, a South Korean solo musician, has scored his first hit on the Hot Rock Alternative Songs chart with Always Love, a collaboration with D4VD. And, of course, K-pop is taking over our airwaves, with Blackpink's Rose and Lisa breaking records left and right. Rose's collaboration with Bruno Mars, Apt, peaked at number 2 on the adult pop airplay chart. Meanwhile, Lisa's collaboration with Maroon 5, Priceless, has climbed to number 1 on the same chart, surpassing BTS's highest charting hit. It's an exciting time in music, folks. New talent, new collaborations, and a fresh wave of energy is taking over the industry. Now, for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, our top story takes us to Mexico, where the critically endangered vaquita is on the brink of extinction. However, in a related story, we discuss the plight of the southern resident killer whales and the impact of trawling activities on marine biodiversity off the coast of British Columbia. A recent report by Pacific Wild reveals significant concerns about the footprint of trawling activities in the region, including bycatch and habitat damage. In other news, researchers in Brazil are testing innovative scanners that use near-infrared spectroscopy to identify animal species in the wild with unprecedented ease. This revolutionary technology has the potential to transform the way we study and conserve wildlife, making it easier to detect and monitor species and even combat wildlife crime. Lastly, we looked at the critical issue of conservation in the Amazon rainforest, where human activity is threatening delicate ecosystems. The use of NIRS technology is just one example of how innovation can support conservation efforts and promote sustainability. These stories remind us of the importance of preserving biodiversity and the need for balance between human activity and environmental preservation. We'll continue to follow these stories and bring you updates as more information becomes available. Thanks for joining us on this morning's edition of the AI Daily Press. Stay curious, and let's work together to protect our planet's precious biodiversity. And that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Attenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.